Good afternoon. And this is the first time that we have spoken directly to another. Many times, beautiful souls in a large audience have asked us individual questions, but always we have advised that those questions pertain to everyone. But as you are well aware, you are not alone in this world in being human. All of you suffer for human issues. And we know that your challenge is not solely yours, but it may feel that way. But we are here to serve you as it serves the greater good. We are most grateful. And so, Shari, what is the challenge you would wish to share with us today?
Well, Sanaya, I feel very fortunate to have a good hold on my spiritual journey and where I am now. However, because of great loss of my family in a rather short period of time, dealing with the grief and the loss has been challenging for me. It started with the loss of my stepfather. I was holding his hands when he crossed over. And 3 months later, I lost my biological father, who we were distantly across the United States. So we weren't close proximity to one another, but we were close emotionally. And then I took care of my mother for 4 years until she declined, and she passed last September. So really with her passing and my very strong need to connect with her, that has been a very big challenge for me. And I want to know if I have any blocks or anything that is restricting my ability to connect directly with her.
Very good. And we were rubbing the side of our head, for we are aware that your mother did have a bit of cognitive decline in her final years, did she not?
She did have some. Yes,
Yes.
she did.
We wish to tell you that all of your loved ones, as are all people's loved ones, are quite well across the veil, and you need not worry about them at all. This is no accident that you have been blessed with being the first one with whom we can communicate today. Not that you have any greater need than any others to speak with us, but just that you are such a beautiful example of one who is going to great effort to communicate with your loved ones. We wish to tell you that this is a two-way communication with your loved ones. Even when you feel that you are not connecting with them, they are well aware of your efforts. They feel this in their very being. Whilst they may not have a body, most certainly the pattern of energy that they are, and is that not a most impersonal way of referring to the soul, a pattern of energy? But you understand our meaning. Without a body, what are you? You are a beautiful light, yet each light has an energy signature to it that is recognizable. And therefore, were your loved ones to show up to you as an orb at the foot of your bed, even though they would not look like your mother, your father, your stepfather, you would recognize them. For that being of light, if you were to call it an orb, and we dare say you have had visits of this kind and will continue to have them, but you will recognize the presence in the heart. Have you been aware of the presence, most especially whilst you are in the bed thinking of loved ones?
Yes, I would say so.
Yes, most definitely. But many humans have the feeling that an appearance must appear a certain way, that they must be in physical form, or that the orb must be visible. But it comes first as a knowing. And we are feeling Suzanne with the feeling of goosebumps, and we hope that you are feeling them as well. For the body reacts to the energetic presence of loved ones before the mind. It affects the heart in a way that you know this feeling indicates a loved one is near. Suddenly you may be filled with memories of that loved one. On rare occasions, a smell of perfume, something to remind you of your loved ones. And this is the way they make their presence known to you. An aftershave lotion that you would recognize of a loved one, this sort of thing. So first of all, we ask you to release the requirement that at first they will communicate to you, as many loved ones do communicate with Suzanne and other mediums, with full clairaudience and clairvoyance and the such. This will come to you in time, so do not despair. Please be patient with yourself. As you have stated yourself, you have had a succession of what you call losses within a short period of time. One of these alone would be enough to take the legs out from under you, as you say, in a metaphor, at times physically, for the legs grow weak and you at times do not even wish to get out of the bed. You understand what we are saying, do you not? Yes. Whilst you are in this condition, you must understand it is very much like your own energy field. Perhaps you have seen these pictures of what happens to molecules of water. When we infuse them with loving energy, they produce beautiful snowflake images. But when we infuse a molecule of water with something less than love, it does not take that perfectly pristine form. The human energy field is the same way. When you are without sickness, when you are without grief, when you are in as perfect of alignment as the human can be with their true state of being as a soul, then each of your energy fields is like a sparkling snowflake. And this makes it far more easy for those across the veil to come in with the clear audience, the kind of visit that you are hoping from across the veil. But can you see that the grief that accumulates, 1, 2, 3, can cause your energy field to fluctuate and to vibrate in a way that is not that crystal clear tone that one would aspire to? Yes. We hope that you do not take this in any way as a criticism. Do hear us well, that your loved ones across the veil are well aware that grief is normal. In fact, they would be quite surprised if you did not feel grief, for they do know how much you loved them. Your father across the way is aware of the desires for you to express certain things that went unsaid to him. And now he palpitates Suzanne's heart. So there must have been a bit of a heart problem with one of the two fathers. But in any case, and you are aware of this, are you not?
Yes, I am.
The heart issue. In any case, they can read your thoughts. They know what you are trying to transmit through to them in your efforts. Say all of it. You can say it silently. You can say it out loud. It matters not, for it is felt even before you say it. You see, across the veil, when returning to much greater soul awareness, your loved ones continue to play out the role as the father, the stepfather, the mother, and so forth. Any family member will remain such as long as you are still playing your role here as a person in human form, and there is that heart connection. But there is much greater awareness across the veil of being a soul. And they suddenly can hear your thoughts. They know your feelings. They feel your feelings. So do not worry that anything left unsaid need remain left unsaid until you hear from them. In fact, they are applauding you and sending you congratulations and gratitude for your efforts to connect with them. But healing must take place within you. Any one loss is quite normal and would affect your energy field so that it is not shining as brightly as it can. But also hear as well that your love is producing a balancing effect with the grief. Were it not for your love for them, you would crumble a bit more than you have. That love is providing the strength to your energy field. Your efforts to connect with them are not at all in vain, but feel the pain of grief so that you can process it. We are hoping that today our advice to you, to feel the pain but let it flow through you, to understand that they are with you and hear you and know of your efforts, will in fact help you to release a bit more grief. And so it goes. Little by little, your energy field is coming back into a state of balance. But we wish to tell you some good news here. Your efforts as a result of your loved ones passing to connect with them has already taken your energy field to a higher state than it was before they passed. It is merely a matter of getting the grief to process completely. And we do not wish for you to rush this process, but to understand that as it is released, the higher energy you are creating through your efforts replaces it, and you shine brighter as a result. Do you understand?
I do understand.
So merely stay the course as you would understand it. Continue your efforts as you have been doing them, and little by little you will find openings of connection with your loved ones. You are doing quite well. Each person blossoms at their own rate perfectly, and we would not make any adjustments to your efforts at all, save for the advice that you not become quite so frustrated with yourself. Any way that you are berating yourself and thinking that you are doing something wrong is not correct. Do you understand? We are sending you now healing energy of love to erase any of those thoughts that have been in your field. Do not think for yet another moment that your loved ones do not wish to hear from you. Your mother is flashing before us the image of an embroidered, what do you call them? A heart pad. It's the shape of a square on a quilt. That is what it is. You may understand something that your mother has created or that has been passed down from another that belonged to your mother. Do you recognize this?
Something with a heart on it.
Not a heart. It is simply an embroidered, something made by hand, a handicraft that is passed down from your mother or something that your mother did create. If you do not immediately recognize this, you will in the future, and it is the size of a hot pad with an embroidered pattern on it that has great meaning that connects you with the mother, for she is waving it like a red flag. All right?
Wow.
Okay.
I pray that comes to me.
It will. We will follow up with you to share with all others as well. We hope that we have assuaged any worry that you have. What would you like to add to this discussion, or more questions that you would like to ask?
I would like to know that if some childhood trauma that I had as a young child, probably between the ages of 5 and 10.
And it does relate to the father, for we are pulling Suzanne over to this direction. Does it?
It does relate to a family member of the father.
Yes.
And I feel like I grew up very balanced, and I dealt with that quite appropriately, really. I don't feel like it is a block for me at this time, but I just want to make sure with Sanaya's help and guidance that I'm not missing something, and it is a block for me that I'm just not aware of.
If you can imagine a seesaw, you do not see this too often these days, a child's seesaw. We are showing you the image that as you focus on this issue, you move from center over to the side and go out of balance. You are quite right that you have healed this through your own efforts and through coming to know who you are and seeing beyond the story. But questioning this takes you off balance. So merely accept that the healing has taken place, and you will see yourself going back to a beautiful state of balance. If anything at all, You might offer just a bit more forgiveness to that one with whom you were involved, and most especially forgive yourself for ever thinking you were anything less than the expression of love. You were both playing roles, and that is what the humans do. And yes, that is definitely in the past, but we wish to show you that it is no longer tugging you down for your own efforts to heal. And you have given forgiveness. This is what has made such a great difference in yourself. And whilst you may not be aware of it, it has also freed that other one who is much higher now in spirit as a result.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sanaya, when I am in meditation and I'm talking to spirit and talking to my guides and also my parents, are they usually present with me during that time?
You can use the word always. We tend to shy away from words such as always and never, but because of your heart connection with those who are most dear to you, the moment you think of them, you are in connection with them, much more in awareness. Now, it is much like a human on a telephone. When you call someone on the phone, now that you have your caller identification and you know who is calling you, you may not always choose to answer that call, but you are aware they are calling. This is how it is with those in spirit. Every time you think of them, and most especially in your meditation and your prayers to connect with them, they are aware of this. It is like your caller identification, and they can choose to step next to you or not. So they are always aware. But why would they not choose to come to you? You may wish to know. Perhaps they are working on themselves. Perhaps their focus is somewhere else, but never is it for a lack of love. So
Yes.
our best advice for you is to maintain an awareness that they are aware of your loving thoughts going to them. And should the opportunity arise for you to have an interaction that is healing to one or the other, most definitely, they will draw even more near.
I have had a dream connection, especially with my stepfather, the first one that was lost and the one that I was holding his hand when he passed. He has appeared to me twice in dreams. He's very happy, full of energy. I saw him visually. He looked like he did when he was my father in human form. He smiled.
He
And
wished to know that the pain in the leg, or the challenge that he had with the leg, is no longer present, of course, without the physical body. But you can rest assured and trust that those were indeed spirit visits. So once again, we show you that your efforts to connect are having an effect. And you will find that it is much easier for those across the veil to connect with you when you are in the sleep state, for then your grief has been set aside. This is part of the reason why the human has sleep, to give the busy mind that hashes and rehashes all of its issues, all of its grief, all of its fear, all of its trauma over and over. In the sleep state, it is as much a resting of the mind as it is of the body. And whilst the mind is at rest, it is far easier for those across the veil to drop in and say hello. And they will always do so with love and with a feeling of more solidity than your normal dreams. Was this not the case with you? Yes, indeed. And when you may have a dream that is upsetting, they appear afraid or scared or some other lower human emotion, please understand that this is not a dream visit. This is your own subconscious running through scenarios that you have not yet cleared from your energy field. You will notice the difference, the vast difference in a sense of solidness between one of your normal, what you would call normal dreams, and an actual dream visit. So you have done quite well in remembering that visit, and you can rest assured that his happiness was what you would call real.
thank you, Sanaya.
Is there any other way in which we might assist you today?
I don't believe so. I'm just going to push forward and keep my practice and learn and flow and go as far as I can. I actually do have a secret dream of having some mediumship abilities. I want very much to help others. As a registered nurse in physical form, I help people, but what the work that Suzanne and you are doing for others bypasses that so much to me. And
you cannot deny this calling to open up this ability. And it is that desire that is coming from the soul, not the ego. If
yes.
you see your loved ones applauding you from across the veil, they would be congratulating you for the awareness that this is a calling for you. And be very aware of the words you chose. We know you do not mean push in the terms of making great effort, but when you say push forward, be very cautious that you recognize that you cannot push yourself beyond the way you are meant to be blossoming.
Yes.
All is in perfect order. So simply move forward with those goals that you have set for yourself, but surrender those goals to spirit, for your loved ones and your guides are surrounding you with love, lifting you up, giving you their full support. And as you come to trust this and trust the process and the way it unfolds as it is meant to, perhaps not the way you would like it to, at the speed you would like it, you will come to see the beauty in the way it has unfolded perfectly for you. We wish to assure you that you will make a most excellent medium. And you may make your first connections with others' loved ones before your own, for the very reason that you need to hear things that you do not yet know. And you will hear that from others' loved ones. But do continue with your focus on hearing from your own loved ones, for in this way, that singular focus is training you in that all-important focus of attention. That is what will set the busy mind aside and open you to this kind of holding the focus on spirits.
Yes.
So well done. The A student earned yet another A.
Thank you.
You are welcome. And we thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Sanaya.
Blessings be upon you. Go. I hope that was helpful.
I'm really doing so much better in the left part of my brain.
Here we go.
I'm doing so much better with being open and learning to go with the flow. And as Sanaya was just telling me, I used the term, I want to push forward, but she said, it's not about pushing forward, it's about being open and just go with the flow and stay on my path, what is meant for me. And I am doing so much better with that. And I owe all of that really to you and your teachings, because it has really slowed me down, slowed my mind down, made me more aware of the words that I choose and the attitudes that I adopt.
Beautiful.
I feel like I'm doing really, really a lot better. And I must be, because I have way more peace and joy in my heart than I have had in years.
Oh, it's beautiful. Well,
Yes.
we are grateful. And I'm grateful to you for this. I know this will help a lot of people. So we will use it if you don't.
Wonderful. Absolutely. Anything I can do to help.
Okay, gorgeous.